A Striking Distance, o estúdio que tá fazendo The Callisto Protocol, um jogo que promete demais e que vai chegar no final do ano, lançou um vídeo de 15 minutos que a gente vai reagir aqui com vocês com muitas informações sobre o projeto. Vamos dar uma olhada nisso, né, Leptecos?
Exatamente, aqui é Leptecos e você está no Combo Infinito.
Já pensou perder o seu videogame por causa de um surto de energia? Proteja o seu console, TV e eletrônicos de um surto elétrico com o DPS da Clamper. Com o iClamper você evita que seu aparelho queime do nada e fica totalmente seguro. Link com desconto no comentário fixado. O nome do vídeo é Mastering Horror The Callisto Protocol Docu-Series. É o episódio 1. Vamos ver do que se trata isso aí, Leptecos.
Vamos sim. Lembrando só que Callisto Protocol é um jogo muito aguardado por nós, vai estrear em dezembro agora, né? E enfim, vamos lá.
Já tá em Gold, então não tem como atrasar.
Isso. 3, 2, 1, vai.
The Callisto Protocol will, in fact, scare the pants off of all of us. There will be no more pants.
É
What
o Deacon St.
is
John's.
fear?
Fear is such a basic part of who we
Legal.
are.
Where is it created?
Atmosphere in a game like this is everything. It's terrifying, but it's beautiful.
Esse cara é o protagonista.
How can we use it?
With horror, there's no rules.
Glenn Schofield and the developers of the Callisto Protocol invite you to
Chama a
join
gente,
them
pô.
and some very special icons of horror.
I think it goes back to the earliest times around a campfire.
The perfect horror experience is something that scares the piss out of me.
Think of it as a roller coaster. I want it to make me feel things. I want it to
Pode
startle
crer.
me.
They're all magic tricks. That's what we're
Chamaram
doing
todo
in
mundo
the
que faz coisa
movies.
de terror.
As they discuss
Foi o que
crafting
eles falaram agora.
Legal, eu não tinha lido, eu tava só vendo as imagens.
The 5 tenets of horror for the Callisto Protocol are brutality,
atmosphere,
Tension.
Helplessness.
Legal.
and
humanity.
Será que eles estão todos ligados ao projeto?
The Callisto Protocol is
Eu acho que
mastering
não, mas
horror.
se for, vai ser muito louco.
Caramba, mano.
Eu acho que seria tipo os caras mais podendo contribuir pro docu-series.
Certo.
Cada episódio vem uma galera top no nosso.
Nossa, velho.
Brutality is part of that shock value. And shock is just one of the emotions of horror, right? And so I kind of look for those to affect
Deus.
people a little bit.
Filho da mãe.
what we wanted the project to be was really about looking at films and games and kind of thinking about how we wanted our project to sit within those.
You know, we watch these movies and it does give you a feeling.
It was a lot of fun because there was a lot of research.
When you sit down on the couch or go to the movie theater to watch a movie, you're experiencing someone else's story, and you can feel things by experiencing that story, and it can be very moving, but there's always going to be a distance between you and that character. One of the things that video games does that I think heightens things for storytelling purposes is it puts you in the center of that story. So you are the one performing tasks. You are the one succeeding when the character succeeds.
I think the growth in that is exponential. I mean, I think it's going to be massive, even from where it is now.
Whoever the next George Lucas is, he, she, they, at 13 years old, they have a controller in their hands.
It's an experience that is unrivaled in other forms of entertainment.
Cara, tem coisas nesse jogo que
There
parecem
are
que
two
serão
movies,
revolucionárias.
Hostel
Parece,
and Martyrs, in which there was a scene in each one that were so brutal that it affected me. Like for a couple of weeks, I'm like, oh, gee, you know, just thinking about it, I'm like, man, that was really brutal.
The concept of brutality is, well, it's certainly useful.
Brutality is a very specific kind of trauma. It
Caramba.
is
Psicologia.
usually
Nossa, velho,
senseless.
psicóloga.
It usually has a visceral, almost excessive amount of violence to it.
They don't pull punches at all in this game, and I was like, whoa, Glenn, Scott, Chris, you guys are crazy.
We wanted to get to something that
felt very raw, very real for the player, and that's a fantastic tool for really sort of cutting through the noise in some respects, for connecting with people and evoking that kind of almost like lizard brain reaction of terror and fear to what's happening on screen.
Cara, essa criatura aí, mano.
Cara, isso provavelmente vai ser uma daquelas coisas que vai te pegar de surpresa.
É.
Você vai tomar um puta susto.
E nem fez muito dano nele. Tipo, é justamente pra atacar a gente.
Is the most primal form of conflict, and it's something that everyone can understand.
You have to be very, very careful with it. You know, you see somebody come along and chop somebody else's head off, like Tom Savini did in Friday the 13th. Well, that had never been done before. It became like a magic trick. You say, how did they do that? But it's gone, and then you go forward.
I do the same thing a magician does. A magician is trying to make you believe that what you're seeing is really happening. Well, that's what we're doing in the movies.
We do have a lot of parts coming off and dismemberment and all of that. We have bones showing up, but it's not like, oh, this game is about showing the bones. No, I think it's about the combination.
Parece falar português. Hã? O cara parece um sotaque de quem fala português.
É, eu acho que eu já vi ele alguma outra coisa.
I've got to bone up. I actually have to match that level of violence. I have to become offensive.
It also so crosses a line from civilized behavior that it lets you know that in this story, this is the world we are in now.
You know, you really have to put your characters through the ringer in horror. If you have a guy trying to get from point A to point B, you know, that's a story. You can have conflicts happen along the way. If he's got a broken leg and his bones hanging out, the story's about 10 times more interesting, to me at least.
I'm just trying to give you a chance. At rebirth.
Cara, esse jogo vai dar uma complicada no Dead Space, eu acho, hein, mano? Porque ele tá parecendo muito mais evoluído.
Eu acredito muito no Dead Space.
Creature design, no matter how fanciful,
eu acho que eles estarão num nível muito parecido. Vai ser uma briga muito boa.
You're gonna fare better than if you are doing something that is a complete flight of fantasy.
You know, Biophage didn't just happen. It took a lot of like nuances and drawings and sketches and 3D pieces and stuff like that. And then I realized, personally, the thing that scares me the most is a deranged human.
When you make a character that is 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, 2 eyes, you're building familiarity into it.
Concordo.
Does that make it more or less scary?
É real.
There is something a lot more terrifying about being able to look at a creature, seeing that there's a human, relatable side, right? That could be me.
Eles parecem estar se divertindo demais no desenvolvimento desse jogo, hein?
You have to come up with the style and what are these creatures? What are the roots of these creatures? Are they aliens? Is it something biological? Is it something that's evolved? You know, you have to kind of set down those roots first.
We want to ground everything we do, so
Glauco.
we want people to
Deve ser brasileiro, cara.
On what they see, and that breaks the barrier on thinking.
Eu acho que a gente falou com ele já, velho.
Something created.
Glauco's amazing, not just his creative eye, but also just, you know, his mind and the way that he has taken the human form and turned it on its ear, kind of giving you this kind of
ele não seja brasileiro, mas a gente falou com ele em algum momento.
With bones growing out and teeth growing out and eyes turning into something different.
My favorite, which I played a huge role on that one personally.
Ele trabalhou na Santa Mônica, cara. Eu acho que a gente deve ter falado com ele em algum evento.
That we see in the first trailer, and we see it a couple times in the other demos too. It has
ele trabalhou na Axis também, que foi no Brasil.
There's a lot of saliva and like goo like coming out of his.
Ele é brasileiro, certeza.
Versions we did of him. Well, not in 3D, but we probably have about 50 different designs.
Um baita currículo, cara. Da hora demais. Um abraço pro Glauco. Trabalhou na Naughty Dog também. Currículo. Caraca. Essa cena pra mim foi a mais pesada até agora que eu vi.
We wanted a 2-head that was split in half right from the very beginning, and those are still there.
There are some other ones that we haven't revealed yet that are really, really exciting too. That I can't wait for the players to see it.
Ele tá fazendo a arte, a parte artística das criaturas e dos humanos nesse jogo,
really getting close to these creatures, and we show full detail. We don't hold anything back.
A lot of it was picking melee as the 50% of our gameplay. You are very close to enemies. You're always within reach of them, and so you're in danger. That also is a way to show the brutality right in front center stage. So as we're doing these melee hits, you're seeing that reaction. Our camera's close up to the enemy, to you. So you see the arm pop off, you see the blood.
Our gore system plays a big role in showcasing brutality.
It's basically a system that scales through enemies, through environmental hazards, and basically allows the enemies to get dismembered, to spawn blood, to have the deaths.
Like if I hit someone with a bat, stun baton, how's that arm gonna fall? If I shoot him in the head, like is it going to explode?
We have a lot of tools built into the system that we can, achieve all of these different things.
Oh shit!
Nossa, saiu o braço numa porrada.
Wanted to take. So in that vein, we just went to the supermarket and we were buying a bunch of different types of meat. Something with more fresh, more red, something with more fascia. Fascia is the tissue that covers muscles.
We've worked very closely with Jorge throughout the process.
He's so passionate. What he did was he bought a light box and then he put the chicken breast on the light box and it's actually measuring lighting values, physical lighting values from it.
We bring the meat into here, into the studio. We place them on a light rig and we just make the lights spin. And we basically have an image for every single light direction. And that allows us to understand how this tissue is reacting to light. So we can understand how to actually replicate that in the game.
His passion and dedication I have not seen anywhere else.
So we went to actually pierce our finger a little bit to get some blood in there. And then we actually recorded how the blood will change over time to understand all the range of colors that blood can have, from very fresh to how it looks like after 45, 1 hour. And we have that, we made that available for artists as reference.
Jorge has definitely pushed a lot of boundaries when it comes to, fidelity and visual improvements.
He is a spectacular engineer.
Caramba, que equipe, hein, velho? Que da hora.
Você lembra que os caras falaram que eles estavam estudando cadáveres, os bagulhos assim,
lembra disso?
Eu quero dizer também que equipe em qualidade de pessoas, né? Gente boa aí, cara.
Mas é isso mesmo, os caras estão indo num nível muito que eu acho que ninguém chegou ainda.
Esse estúdio aí nasceu pra ser grande.
The other thing it allows us is our AI is relentless. They will not stop coming for you.
So if you shot them in the leg, you blew off both their legs. Well, that doesn't mean they're dead. Now they're crawling at you. And if they're crawling coming at you, if you can't shoot them, well, hit them on top of the head. Boom!
So we are building this world like full of fear, full of horror. And then when you fight an enemy, you get a satisfaction of like ripping off the enemy's head. It's just really trying to enhance that they are very brutal with you. You can be brutal with them, but they will be brutal back.
It shows consequence, right? You don't only see the threat, you can really understand what's gonna happen if that's gonna be reaching to you and it's gonna be defeating you.
And that's where we have a lot of fun because we want the player to feel like, oh man, like did I just die like that? Like, oh, this is horrible, and like this is so disgusting.
We've got some real cool death scenes for Jacob, really special.
Assim, velho.
Nossa, velho.
Essa é muito pesada.
It's really about seeing what happens to us when we lose against creatures. We show every single detail, and that's what really drives that experience for us.
Most games don't reward you for dying. They just give you a nice "you are dead" and then take you back. Now we want to even reward you for dying. We think that's fun to do. It's a little bit of light relief in a failure moment, and we think they're very kind of collectible from the player point of view as well.
I'm looking forward to the YouTube video supercut of all of our deaths. I'm looking forward to that because I don't think I've seen them all back to back, and just looking forward to that video.
One more.
Caramba, mano. Cara, esse tipo de criatividade é um bagulho que faz diferença, tá ligado?
Pra caramba. Consequences of it in reality. Our mind wants to understand the world in a greater sense without putting our bodies in danger.
We handle it better when we can find significance. We can find meaning in it. And good storytelling will help us find that purpose in really straightforward ways.
Characters striving to succeed against all odds. I mean, that's really the secret sauce of storytelling, and horror does that, I think, better than almost any genre, and brutality is a huge element to that.
Aí esse é o vídeo da Striking Distance, falando aí do Callisto Protocol, um jogo que definitivamente aí tá chegando pra ser grande. Eles já falaram que querem fazer dele uma franquia pra levar pra outras coisas além dos jogos. Os caras não estão pra brincadeira não, Adeptecos. Eles me convenceram no primeiro vídeo, mas o de hoje eu queria jogar agora.
Muito interessante ver o que a Striking Distance está propondo, não apenas em fazer um videogame, mas fazer com que tudo o que tem em volta dele seja de muita qualidade. Na parte do gore, na parte do terror, na parte do gameplay, na parte da inteligência artificial. Eu tô achando que Callisto Protocol vai ser uma das grandes referências de jogo de terror que a gente pode ter, cara.
Também tô achando.
Isso daí, eu espero... Cara, eu tô curtindo demais o desenvolvimento do Dead Space Remake. Mas eu tô achando que o Callisto Protocol vai ser uma parada diferente, mano.
O Callisto Protocol parece ter até mais investimento, por tudo que a gente tá vendo, a maneira como tá acontecendo ali. É um jogo de grande porte, né? Um AAA real. E a gente fica em dúvida aí da cobrança que vai ser levada pra cima do Dead Space, porque o jogo é feito pelo cara que idealizou o Dead Space, que é o Schofield. Então, ele tem a ideia do que seria o próximo passo, enquanto que a galera do Dead Space tá tentando resgatar aquilo que a EA deixou morrer. Então, talvez eles não tenham nem como ir além ainda, mas aqui tem. Aqui eles estão sem amarras. E quando eles estão tentando levar o gênero de jogo de terror e de horror, que talvez se confundem, pra um novo patamar, eles não vão só apenas jogar uma resposta pra cima do Dead Space, mas pra qualquer outro jogo que pretenda pisar aí, tá ligado?
Eu vejo assim também.
Loucura.
Mas queremos saber de vocês, o que vocês pensam sobre isso. Vocês estão animadíssimos pra Callisto Protocol, ou vocês acham que a gente tá exagerando? Já aproveita, deixa seu like, compartilha esse vídeo, se inscreve no canal. Até a próxima, valeu.
Valeu, e eu não vejo a hora de fazer a série desse jogo. Vou ter um monte de susto gravado, valeu.